South African Parliament was plunged into chaos Thursday when opposition lawmakers prevented President Jacob Zuma from delivering his annual State of the Nation speech. Security officers entered the parliament and forcibly removed members of the opposition economic freedom fighters after the president's speech was interrupted.
Honorable President, I'm sorry to interrupt your speech. If the President would not mind just taking a seat so we can listen to this honorable member's point of order.
EFF leader Julius Malema halted the president's speech by asking when Mr. Zuma will repay the more than 20 million in public money spent on upgrading his private home.
We want the president to answer a simple question: when is he paying the money as directed by the public protector? That's all we're asking.
Honorable Malema.
At the heart of the upheaval is Mr. Zuma's refusal to accept an independent report out last year that said the president had benefited unduly from some of the upgrades, which included a cattle enclosure and amphitheater, and should pay back some of the costs of the unnecessary renovations. After the removal of Mr. Malema's party, lawmakers from the main opposition party, the Democratic Alliance, protested the ejection and walked out of the chamber. Mr. Zuma then delivered his speech to cheers of support from lawmakers of his ANC party as he highlighted the strides South Africa has made since the end of white minority rule 2 decades ago. Well, for more on South Africa, I'm joined live via Skype from Johannesburg by viewers Anita Powell. Hello, Anita. Now,
Hi.
It's a day after. Tell us, what are people talking about? The brawl in Parliament or the speech of the president?
I think it's clear, Vincent. I mean, what was the top of your story? The brawl in Parliament. This has captivated South Africa, and some observers have even said that that brawl and all the fracas around it reveals the true state of this nation, which is to say it's disorganized.
Now, in terms of the issues, do those issues raised by Malema and his group resonate with the rest of the nation, or is it just a very small group that is trying to highlight these issues?
I guess that depends who you ask. If you were to ask ANC supporters, they would note that the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters, only got about 9% in the last election. If you go onto the streets of Johannesburg and you ask anybody, hey, did you see the State of the Nation address tonight? The first question many people ask you will say, they'll say, did he pay back the money? This is very much on the minds of South Africans. It illustrates the inequalities in South Africa and the feeling many people have that they haven't come as far as they would have liked since the end of apartheid. So I think this is definitely on the top of people's minds.
The question is, how has the president handled that particular issue up to this moment since it came out?
Mr. Zuma is cool as a cucumber. He just went on there like nothing had happened. Sort of like, I guess, a bride who was jilted and said, well, you know what? We paid for the party. Let's just keep going. He didn't acknowledge it. He didn't mention it. And the next morning he said, you know, this is a robust democracy. This kind of stuff happens. So he's taking it in stride.
But the fact that he was re-elected, does that tell us that actually majority South Africans still think he's a great guy that should be leading them?
Well, the ANC won 62% in the last election, which is, of course, a majority. But they won 65% in the election before that and about 68% in the election before that. So every election, they're losing about 3%. For a party that's accustomed to having an absolute majority, I don't know how popular he is.
Very quickly, is Malema's popularity starting to kind of become noticed by the ruling party?
That, I guess, is the $23 million question, Vincent. They're definitely aware of him. They're definitely aware of him as a threat, but I don't know how seriously they take him. The president said he wasn't worried at all about Malema. Remains to be seen, I suppose.
Anita, thank you very much for joining us today. Well,
Thanks.
viewers, Anita Powell reporting live via Skype from Johannesburg, South Africa.